Dear netizens, today Tesla stock is over $340 because I've been talking about Tesla continuously for the past few years. I'm very worried about Tesla's car sales. Let me tell you. Why am I so worried? First, I'll admit that I've always believed Tesla's full self-driving is unbeatable. But when will full self-driving actually become truly profitable? Everyone has to wait for both the regulations and the technology to mature. Self-driving taxis, cybercabs, also face regulatory challenges. Let's set this aside for now. How optimistic are you about it? Second, its energy business is making progress. But what should we really be concerned about? It's the issue of tariffs on batteries imported from China. Things would be much better if China and the US could reach an agreement soon, but that really can't be denied. Car sales make up 60 to 70% of Tesla's business. And I'm seeing some situations that are really concerning. So I cut my Tesla holdings by 2/3. Others have been held. I'm neither buying nor selling right now. I think, no matter what, we'll have to wait until the end of June. After it launches the fully self-driving taxi in Austin. The first phase of self-driving taxis, only then will it be considered. Right now, its market price is basically a bet on what happens at the end of June. I'll tell you why this is the most concerning. First of all, I really don't get it at all. At the start of this year, Tesla's car sales dropped. People said, it's because they're switching to a new Model Y. People are waiting for the new Model Y. So they're holding off on buying a Tesla for now. I can accept that. So when sales dropped in January and February, I wasn't too worried. Because I was expecting a new Model Y to come out. It might even spark a craze. Especially back in February, the new Model Y is available for order. They said they received a lot of orders in China. That's how it was. But what does the situation actually look like? The new Model Y has already been out for over a month. Let me fill you in. In the first quarter of this year, Tesla sold 128,000 units in the US. That's a 9% drop compared to the same period last year. California Tesla Q1 2025 are down 21.5% compared to 2024. This is extremely serious. Why is that? Because California actually makes up 2/3 of Tesla's US sales. Why did Tesla's sales in California drop by 21%? By April, the learning curve for the new Model Y had already improved. He said it only took a few weeks, and now there are no issues with the production capacity of the Model Y. However, sales in the United States are still declining. Meanwhile, overall EV sales in the US went up by 11%. So overall, there has been an increase. Why did Tesla's sales drop after launching the Model Y? It doesn't really have any major competitors. Electric vehicles from other American and European car manufacturers. Logically speaking, these shouldn't be real competitors for Tesla. This is something that really puzzles me. This is what's happening in the US. The most serious situation is in China. April. Tesla's domestic sales in China were 28,000 units. That's a year-on-year decrease of 8.56%. Compared to the previous month, it dropped by more than 61%. Only 28,000 units were sold throughout April. And this was after the launch of the Model Y. Didn't you say a lot of people placed orders? Plus, the production capacity of the Chinese factory is really impressive. Why did it drop so much? Then from May 12th to 18th, it went back up to 11,000 units. But honestly, that number still isn't good. The new Model Y was just launched not long ago. 11,000 units is equal to 600,000 units annually. That's even worse than last year. And what's the most serious part? Overall, electric vehicle sales in China went up by 38%. And Tesla actually fell. That's what worries me the most. Because no matter what, China is the world's largest electric vehicle market. It makes up half of the world's electric vehicles, and it looks like Tesla is losing its market in China. Not competitive enough in the Chinese market. Without the Chinese market, Tesla loses 40% of its overall electric vehicle sales share. It dropped to only 2.5%. Its Model 3 sales in China are even lower than Xiaomi's models overall. Not to mention BYD. China's electric vehicle sales surged by 38%. And Tesla unveiled the highly anticipated all-new Model Y, their latest electric SUV. But its sales actually went down. And I don't expect it to launch any particularly special cars this year. Originally, they said a new affordable car would be launched. Now, it's very likely just a stripped-down version of the Model Y. A stripped-down Model Y won't be able to boost sales. So, what is it? It's in the Chinese market. Other brands are launching a lot of new models. But Tesla doesn't have enough new models. So people are attracted to the new and get tired of the old. It's a bit like the competition between Ford and General Motors back in the day, way back. Henry Ford didn't give you any choice. You could have any color you wanted, as long as it was black. There was only one color, black. There was no choice. All Ford Model Ts were exactly the same. Because producing this way is the cheapest. They wanted to reach the largest possible market. But people like variety. They don't like everyone driving the same car. So, another genius came along. That was Sloan. Sloan introduced countless brands and models to compete with Ford, and he ended up winning. Now this has started happening on the mainland. The first issue is that there aren't enough styles or options. And the updates are coming too slowly. And the reason for slow updates is pretty straightforward. It's because Tesla has really kind of tied itself up in knots. Why is that? Their car factories are fully automated. If a car factory is fully automated, making changes to the model is extremely difficult. You have to modify the factory first. When it comes to production, of course, this is the most efficient way, but it just isn't flexible enough. No matter what, machines aren't as flexible as people. That's really all there is to it. Second, Tesla's tricks are all over the mainland, because they've been operating on the mainland for so long. Many workers worked for you, so many engineers. Other people have stolen a lot of your manufacturing techniques. As a result, others are much cheaper than you. I honestly can't explain it. In principle, I really like Elon Musk, because his truly exceptional mass production skills are top-notch. But he still ended up being outdone by others like this. BYD is taking a completely different approach. They use manpower-intensive strategy. The division of labor is extremely meticulous. Tesla has about 10,000 or 20,000 people, while BYD has 600,000 people. Every single task is divided up in great detail. So those workers don't need any technical skills at all. It's a manpower-based approach. They compete with very low wages. That's basically how it is. Has Tesla really already lost the mainland market? The first reason is that it doesn't offer enough models. Because its entire factory, most of the assembly line work, over 90% of it is automated. So, the rate of updates just isn't enough. It really doesn't have enough car models. The second reason is that others have learned your technology, and they've cut down on some components. So their costs are lower than yours. No matter what you do, you just can't compete with them. For example, in mainland China, more than 30% of the chips in cars actually don't use chips from the world's 5 biggest car manufacturers. That's a really risky thing to do. All over the world, these 5 companies supply the chips used for vehicle control. These 5 companies are ST Microelectronics, Texas Instruments, Renesas, Infineon, and NXP. Because their safety has to be tested through hundreds of millions of operations. The temperature can reach 140 degrees Celsius. It can get cold minus 50 degrees. The chip operates normally. That's how reliable the chip's safety is. Meanwhile, the mainland has used some domestically produced chips. Just by doing this, they've already saved $200 to $300. Although the chip security isn't quite up to par, mainlanders are, at best, clever enough to pull off these kinds of things. As a result, you really see Tesla in China being gradually pushed out because of these two issues. Third, there was no room for negotiation with Europe. Europe continues to decline. And in 2024, countries like Germany are canceling subsidies for electric vehicles. All electric vehicles are seeing a drop in Europe at the moment. I get that. This year, electric vehicles have bounced back. How much have electric vehicles rebounded this year? They've bounced back by 28%. Tesla continues to decline, down by 39% in total. Here it is. It doesn't have a strong competitor. So, who is its competitor? The strongest competitor is Volkswagen. But the Volkswagen ID.3 is no longer produced. Now it's the ID.4. And as for European cars, BMW also makes electric vehicles, but they're still a long way from catching up to Tesla. Here it is. I really have to wonder, is it because of Elon Musk's political stance? That kind of anti-European attitude is having consequences here. Because the drop was the steepest in several Nordic countries. You know, the Nordic countries have the highest proportion of electric vehicles. Denmark dropped by 69%. This is most likely because of the Greenland incident. The Netherlands dropped by 74%, Sweden dropped by 81%, and these are the countries with the highest percentage of electric vehicles. Let me tell you, and it seems that people in these countries aren't buying Teslas. So, what did Tesla do as a result? Tesla didn't make a significant price cut when the new model was launched. I've never seen that before, when the new Model Y was introduced. First, they offered zero interest in China and the United States. Zero interest for 5 years. That's actually a pretty heavy burden. This is a price cut without actually cutting the price. Or you could say it's a price cut that isn't really a cut. How does that work? Because you're borrowing money back. I see it as Tesla borrowing the money back. And person is paying off the car for 5 years. You save 2.5 years worth of interest. Let's say you're financing 80% of the car. And for 2.5 years, that's 3% interest. 7 by 8, 56. So that's over 5%. So your car is earning over 5% less. Both in China and the United States. It was actually just before the Model Y was launched that they offered this kind of concession. Honestly, this is a serious matter. The second is that it has recently been launched in the United States. There used to be discounts for active-duty military personnel. Give $1,000 now. Now, everyone on the front lines gets a discount, including the following: active-duty personnel and veterans, widows of active-duty personnel and veterans, teachers, dedicated police officers, and firefighters. Each person gets a $1,000 discount. It's basically like giving away money. This covers a huge number of people. If you keep offering discounts like this, I'm really worried. Tesla's profit margin will drop even further. The balance sheet last quarter was already in a pretty risky state. And there's another really serious issue. I was completely caught off guard. It's that their self-driving taxi business seems to be dying. Their quarterly sales dropped from 160,000 units to 80,000 units. Self-driving taxi numbers keep dropping. And the worst part is that second-hand prices have plummeted. Even for cars that have only been driven a few thousand miles in a year. 100,000 is the second-hand price Tesla itself offers when buying them back. It's only 70,000 yuan. It seems like a total failure. Let me tell you, if within this year, I don't think he can pull it off. If fully autonomous driving and robo-taxis can't be fully rolled out this year, I would actually suspect that Tesla might end up in the red this year. That's pretty serious. If sales keep dropping like this, is that really enough to make up for it? First, it's because sales are declining. A lot of things are fixed costs. Second, there's a decrease in profit margins. So if Tesla ever starts losing money, for Tesla, it would honestly feel like the sky is falling. Now Elon Musk has said he's not getting involved in politics. He also knows enough to be afraid, but he's already completely offended Europe. And in China, he can't use his trump card to turn things around either. Why is that? The United States has consistently refused to let advanced chips into China. And China doesn't allow driving data collected in China to be exported. So, there's no way to train Tesla. As a result, Tesla doesn't understand the traffic rules. There's no way to get familiar with city traffic, because it's impossible to do end-to-end training. This is what I've observed with Tesla. I want to tell everyone, a lot of people don't realize how serious this is. The sales of its cars have already revealed its killer feature, the new Model Y, and yet, it's still like this. I can't help but, from time to time, have doubts about this.